Alright, hey everybody, it's T and I'm back with another video on Michelle's Physique Transformation, broski. That's right, by JasonBlaha himself, the gym, lifting, recruiting, gear, fitness slave himself, JasonBlaha. We're going to do a reaction video today again on Team Client Blaha Michelle. I guess this is part 98. Man, she's just like really overworking herself at this point. But okay, Blaha says, Team Blaha Client Michelle, part 98. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. I just don't see anything going on here, but whatever.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here. Once again, it is time for my lifter Michelle's vlog, and
I could just say I feel really sorry for Team Michelle. Really, I like Michelle. I think she's a cool person. But Blaha is really exploiting this poor girl. At this point, I mean, his training sessions are just, they're just not great, dude.
I'm going to go ahead and kind of split her vlog up into three because we had some delays with some training happening.
Okay, so we have an incline bench press. This is not bad.
Some things kind of happen in the middle of the week, so I'm going to do her middle two sessions as one vlog, and then we'll probably do her higher rep days as our third vlog. So for those who are not aware, obviously we are training for bikini or figure. We may end up in figure in the long term coming up, but she is, just over 6 months out from doing her first show. So we do 6 day a week training right now, and
6 days a week training. She's 6 months out from her show, so they're doing 6 weeks of training. Well, you're not going to build. You're not building any muscle. So if you're really training for a show 6 weeks out, most likely you're training for aesthetics. So you don't need to lift anything heavy, and you need to be on a high protein diet so you can increase glucagon, so you can get rid of all this fat. Really, this will just help you by coming in the gym and using these weights as cardio, which you really don't need. But okay, whatever, man. I don't know. Each to their own. That, like I said, you got a lot of poor coaches out there. They don't know what they're doing. They just copy other coaches, other people. They don't even have their own ideas in their own head how things should really work. They don't even follow their instincts.
Again, we have 3 heavier days that are slight power building days, 2 days here in the middle that are also an upper.
She's not getting any leaner for any show. I mean, I don't know, whatever.
Lower that are in about that 10 to 12 rep range.
I see kids doing these in the park, man. And what about it? See what I mean? What about it? You training for a physique show, or are you training to see how good you are lifting yourself on this bar, doing pull-ups?
Yeah, we have a high rep day with more machines and isolations for upper and lower, both towards the end of the week. So upper body day, we started off incline bench. I believe that was 75 pounds for 3 sets of 10. All right.
Now he's talking about PRs and everything. What does this have to do with her prepping for a show, Blaha? She's prepping for a show, isn't she?
Pull-ups. She got 3 sets of 12 today. Right? We are back to doing pull-ups. I've got her doing pull-ups again.
What show is she prepping for? The bodybuilding show, right?
She had 15 at one time. We just did 3 sets of 12. When she came back,
Whoa, she made 15, and what about it? That made her better at doing it. Yes. Okay.
We can only do about 5 or 6, and we're back up to sets of 12. All right, pure win. Pure win. Up next, we have decline bench press. She tried to do a pair of 35s on each side for 115. She's like, I got 15 reps and just quit. So she went up to a full plate. She got 3 sets of 10.
That's nice. Finally, about time. But it's a decline. She's doing a full decline, where this is probably the easiest to do, a decline. But okay, whatever, man. Yeah, just bouncing the weight back up. Okay, 45-pound plate. It's not like she couldn't do that, but okay. Blaha, he's so enthralled in this. Oh, brother.
Nice full ranges of motion, nice medium grip here, good control. 3 sets of 10 with a full plate aside. Yes, guys, sorry for Some of the guys out there who are struggling with 135,
Oh, Blaha's really pushing it. Oh, I'm sorry for the guys that are struggling with 135. My client here, Michelle, she could do 135 for 10. Da, 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 da. Whatever, man.
For rep work on the flat bench, keep putting in the
Keep putting in the work. Human bodies, there's some people that can bench it without even practicing, but human bodies, are they meant to be lifting weights? No, this is artificial. But Blaha wants to make you feel bad, people out there. Yeah, I can't see her doing any gymnastics. Let's see her do the rings or the pommel horse. She any good at that? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I guess she can't do the pommel horse or do rings or do any of these things in gymnastics because she sucks.
work. But yeah, we're getting strong.
Because she's weak. That's why she can't do anything in gymnastics.
We're getting real strong at this point. And we need that because chest is something that has...
Yeah, really, this is so impressive. She got really strong at moving away up and down off her chest. Okay. Yeah, man, this is real talent, bro. Yeah, real talent here. Man, I'd love to see her skateboarding on these fucking things or doing bicycle things with a bicycle or any of these fucking things, man. I like to see her run a marathon, 44 kilometers on the first shot, yeah.
Historically been
because she's so strong, dude. That's why.
A little bit of a weak link even when we were powerlifting. She was a very tricep dominant power lifter. Again, getting those pecs up is going to be a big...
I love this. There's even just a slight bend. The problem with this is a lot of arm work here. The truth is, you don't need to throw the weight. Here's the problem with this exercise. And I try to explain this. When people are focusing more on eccentric exercises, they don't look pretty. So people are going to say, you're not doing full range. The fact is, you really are doing full range in an eccentric movement. She's doing a full range in that concentric movement. So this turns out to be more like endurance training. Her coming 6 days a week to a gym and lifting, 6 days a week she's adapted. She's an endurance trainer, get it? And any muscle that she gets, it's going to be glycogen loading. It's going to be sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That's what it's going to be. It ain't going to be based on myofibrillar growth because she's coming in 6 days a week. Myofibrillar growth is based on periodic lifting. It isn't based on consistent lifting. Consistent lifting, that's sarcoplasmic training. This is sarcoplasmic training, and you are getting better at lifting the weight. That's an adaptation in weight. That's totally different. That adaptation, that's neurological, you want to call it, hormonal and neurological or whatever. This isn't myofibrillar because there's not getting damage there other than hypoxia and oxidative damage and stress to the body.
That's why we work all three angles. We work flat, incline, and decline.
She's simply inflaming her muscles on a daily basis. She's causing inflammation in her muscles every single day. And I don't even think she's eating enough glycogen to build enough of these sarcoplasmic muscles. You have to down a lot of carbohydrates or complex carbs.
And we do mess with both barbells, dumbbells, and a little bit of cable work for all that. So again, trying to build that chest up. But it is...
But again, she is trying to lose weight. Okay, so yeah, again, I don't know if she cut out all these carbohydrates. I don't know what she's really eating to get leaner. If that's the goal, because she's getting ready for a show. But anyways, this is concentric. This is endurance. There's no eccentric here.
Working, she is starting to get that chest line that we're looking for. All right, so then after that, we do barbell rows. Again, keeping these strict. She used to be a little cheatier at these, so we're working on making them stricter. And again, now this covers our basic.
I like how he said the stretch. There's a stretch. I didn't see any stretch. Her arms just they just were like throwing up and down her arms.
Big movement. So then after that, for the rest of this upper body day, we go to shoulders and arms. So today I have her doing...
This is absolutely the worst exercise for a natural person. But this is great for sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. You're pumping your muscles up. That's what you're doing with glycogen. If that's what you want to do. But this is... If you want to get... Man, look, this is concentric, okay? This is a very good concentric exercise. The best exercise is the OHP for shoulders when it comes to eccentric. Yes, and behind the neck. Those are the two best ones for shoulders. I wouldn't even waste my time doing these, to tell you the truth, man. I've done them, but they're a waste of time.
Dumbbell upright rows as opposed to a bar, and we rotate a lot of movements, and the reason we do that, she's doing.
But like I said, if your goal is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy to pump up your muscles with glycogen, yeah, this is to get the pump and all that. Yeah, these are great. You can focus a lot on concentric exercise and full range, and being adapted and coming, well, not coming that often. One day on, one day off, one day on, one day off, one day on, one day off. So you have a chance to load the glycogen back in there, right? You know what I mean? To keep loading it.
Pretty dang close to 20 sets of body parts. Some of the muscle groups are exceeding that if you factor in the big and small movements. Okay? Things like arms to some extent, triceps because of all the pressing, and because we end up doing 9 isolation sets a week for them. But we rotate movement, so the only days it stays somewhat consistently are kind of her strength and power building days. But even then, we still do a lot of 10 rep stuff on those days also. A little bit of exercise variation, but for the most part, we do most of our variations on the later days. And why? Because we do so much volume, and because she does so much training volume, we want to be very careful of overuse injuries. So it's just something to think about. So that's why we do that, also to avoid staleness for her psychologically. So again, all 6 of her training days are different every week, and every 3 weeks we rotate around half of the lifts. About 50 to 60% of her lifts get changed to other lifts, but we have our and that's going to be our squat, bench, deadlift, pull-ups, things like that. Those are kind of our staple movements right there, right? Because we've got a powerlifting background, she will eventually powerlift again. So again, we finish up there with rope press downs, and actually I think it was V-bar press downs this week, and then standing dumbbell curls. All right, so we had a pendulum squat in here today. We were scheduled to do a hack squat, but she said the hack squat machine was broke. Now notice that depth. We need these super deep like that, and that's exactly what I want to see. Notice her squats are all ass to grass. This is all deep.
He must have been listening to me. Ass to grass. He wants it deep and all that. He must have been listening to my videos, because I said she wasn't going all the way down on the pendulum, because this is really meant for a lot of eccentric work. That's the whole point. But if you keep doing concentric, you're not really getting anything there. You're an endurance athlete. But here's the problem. At this point, she's adapted to these exercises. They are protected. They're protecting the muscles from getting damaged. So even though she's going down, doing a full squat, doing the eccentric portion, she's doing the eccentric, a lot of eccentric here. They're not getting damaged. There's a reason for that, because she's adapted, and especially if you come in every single day to the gym.
The reason being, we need to bring up her lower quads, right? We need the whole quad area around the knee, the VMO, all of that.
Again, 6 days a week doing this, and the eccentric are protected. One of the mechanisms to protect from damage in the eccentric exercise is the muscle. What it does is there's a secondary shift. It repairs and remodels a lot stronger, so it's resilient from further assaults. So you need to figure out how to bring back that damage, and usually there's another form to keep bringing it back. It doesn't have to be based on unaccustomed, untrained, and unfamiliar forms now. Now that you are accustomed to doing these exercises, let's say, and you want to bring this damage back, you have to do something very specific. And I've talked about it in other videos.
We need it to come up. And the only way to get there is through deep.
Your experience with experience as an experienced lifter in EIMD training, you should be able to bring this damage back at will at any time you like to try to build more myofibrillar growth. So, like I said, if you're an experienced lifter, you will know how to bring this damage back. But if you're not an experienced lifter, then you'll just sit there doing gaga, eating carbohydrates and building some fake muscles all day and pretending you have muscle and that you're strong because you lifted a heavy weight. You adapted to lifting heavy weights, and you're downing all this garbage carbs all day, these carbs. Like the Trent twins, cookies and donuts all day.
knee extension, right? That is how we get that. We need to get that deep stretch in there. And this is about as deep as you can possibly.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do deep stretches before they work out. They do a lot of deep stretches. And what about it, Blaha? I see them stretching for quite a few minutes, stretching the legs, the quads, their arms, da da da. And I don't see anything going on there, dude.
Yeah, right. That's it. We're all the way hamstrings to heels, super deep, and this is what we want. And we want those sets real close to failure. All right, after that, she did Romanian deadlifts, 3 sets of 10.
Here's what people don't understand. When you stretch your muscles, when you come into the gym and you start stretching them, and then you go work out, well, you've stretched them quite a bit, so they're more elastic now. So they're protected from getting damage. So you're not getting any more damage. The whole point is not to stretch them, is to get them on the machine and stretch them, and so that they break, so that you can get more of these sarcomere numbers and muscle fibers, and a repair and a remodeling and everything else, dude, that comes along with it. Donation of nuclei, further this domain. But people in the gym are wasting their time like team like a team Blaha client Michelle. Get it? She's on part 98 of 0 gains. Get it? 0 gains. Yeah. Waste of time.
With 225. If y'all note, yeah, 225. 3 sets of it. We're in a real good place here in terms of.
I would call her an endurance slave. She's an endurance athlete now. That's all she's really doing here. You know what I mean? And how much better can she really get at lifting these weights? She's female. How much better can she get at lifting these weights? Come on.
Hamstrings, right? Her hamstring strength is on point. She's always had pretty.
Her hamstrings. Look at her legs. They're not straight. She's bending them in because she's uncomfortable doing this exercise. She's not even doing it properly. You don't have to go all the way down. She wants to go all the way down to look good on video, on camera, to be impressive. And the truth is, you can only go so far down on the stretch on that hamstring if your legs are straight, but they're not. So there's nothing going on here.
Strong hamstrings, though, right? We spent a lot of time.
Look at her go down. Watch. This is a concentric exercise. This is concentric. She goes a bit down.
Developing those hamstrings early on.
She stops there, and then she just pulls
Power
up.
lifting. So this is no.
She's more focused on pulling the weight up than she is allowing the weight to pull her down. Yeah.
Surprise. And so now that we're getting over towards bikini and figure, that's going to really pay off as she gets leaner. All that work we put in there. Same thing with the glutes, right? We've added a large amount of muscle to her glutes. That was an area she really struggled with early on, but again has been greatly improved and may not always see it in the training footage as much with the shorts, but if you see any of her photo shoots, it is blaringly obvious that we've.
It's blaringly obvious this is a concentric exercise with no eccentric whatsoever. That's why she has 0 calves. 0 calves, dude.
Dramatically increase her glute size while getting leaner, right? And so that's kind of a big deal. All right, so then after.
But again, I'm talking about 0 calves in myofibrillar growth, but she can pump them up with sarcoplasmic growth. Again, how do you know you have sarcoplasmic that you didn't grow any myofibrillar or sarcoplasmic? How do you know which one you got? See what I mean? I know. I know already. If I go to the gym, I know what I'm gonna get. I know the difference. But how do you know? See what I mean? The only way to know is to cut the carbs out and be on a high protein diet. And guess what? Glucagon takes off and bam. All that stuff is going to be relieved, and whatever's left over, that's myofibrillar growth, dude. Now, if it all goes away, that means you didn't build anything. You built jack shit.
That we do standing calf raises. We are currently in a race on these for her to get to that 405 for 10 before I get to 500.
A lot of people will write in the comment section, oh, you want to get big, eat carbs. If you want to get big, eat carbs. If you want to get fat, eat carbs. You want to know why pigs are fat? Big and fat, huge, because they're not ruminant animals. They feed them all these plants, on these farms to get them all fattened up. That's like humans. The same thing with humans. They eat plants and they get fattened up. They get all nice and fattened up. Want to know why? Because we're not ruminant. We're carnivores. We're not ruminant. We're not herbivore animals. We don't ruminate. Get it?
10. So we're racing on that. Again, and I'm doing that to push her because I need her calves bigger. I need her to be pushing them hard. She's a competitor, competitive by nature.
And our insulin is through the roof because we love to eat a lot of sugar, which is contributing to this getting fat too.
So you throw the gauntlet down and it's on. All right, then of course she does.
All right, this is good. This is like you're stretching, but you're stretching. That's not really. I think people really don't understand this exercise. There's nothing wrong with this, but I mean, it's just she's just bending.
Dumbbell split squats, right? So we're not really doing a leg extension on this day. I want more squat pattern movements for her because her rectus femoris is coming along well. I don't want to do tons and tons of leg extensions. I want to get more squat pattern movements right into a deep stretch, mainly because that is the area we need to bring up. We need that part of her.
Squat pattern movements. She needs to bring this up. She needs to bring that up. She needs to see. Man, you wouldn't even know she lifted a weight walking down the street. You just think she was some ordinary girl, dude.
One growing, we need to maximally develop it, and this is how we do it. Right? It's how we do it.
She hasn't developed anything. If she did, Body would do the talking. You wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have to say these things in the video. See what I mean? Dude, it's like this. You wouldn't have to say any of these things in the video, you know that, as a coach, because Body would be doing the talking and her body says nothing. It says zero, a zero. And you don't see what she lifts anyways in the street when she's walking down the street. You don't see. You don't see what she lifts. That doesn't mean anything. I don't see what factory workers are lifting while then walking down the street. How the fuck should I know what they're lifting at the factory all day?
And so then after that, of course, we do leg curls and then seated calf raises. So again, working both of those angles of the hamstring. We have both a hip hinge and we have a knee flexion, right? A knee flexion. Now, we're not as worried about that as much on the earlier day in the week because we have glute ham raises and deadlifts. The glute ham raises cover both, but on these other days, yeah, we're wanting to hit both. Again, we want complete hamstring development, just like calves. We finish up with seated calf raises. Because calves are such a big deal at this point, we do standing and a...
Yeah, calves are a big deal because she's... Man, that exercise right now, what she just did was like, she just kept pushing down. There wasn't a lot going on there. I don't know. Whatever. This is a good machine for eccentric, really, if you know how to use it.
Seated calf raise all 3 lower body days because that area needs to come up. I need.
She does the exact same exercises in all these videos. They're like, it's the exact same things, and you're expecting a different outcome. How could you expect a different outcome? Even if you are adapted to all these things in the gym, you're looking for a different outcome. You need to do different stuff. Just everything here is just wrong, man. You know what I mean? It's just wrong. Doing the same exercises can make you get a disease. That's why on factory lines, they move people around on these car lines. They know about this, like carpal tunnel syndrome. If you keep typing forever, carpal tunnel, you'll get a disease. You'll get rheumatism or some shit. You'll get something, man. It's going to be bad. Arthritis in your joints doing this. A lot of people get arthritis. A lot of lifters, they go to the gym and then they can't figure out why they have all these problems. They get arthritis, joint problems, spinal problems, neck problems, this, that, whatever. Because they get numbness. Sometimes there's numbness down their legs or whatever. They develop numbness from lifting, a bunch of stuff because they're doing the same exercises over and over again. They come into the gym over and over and over and over and over again. They're just lifting slaves.
Complete calf development for her from a competitive perspective. All right, guys, but that's really
This is not going to develop her calves whatsoever.
all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative and all.
Look at her. She just pushes up. There isn't any eccentric. She's not going down and going a bit up, down and a bit up. She's going up and a bit down. Watch.
Talk to you guys and gals next time.
See? It's total concentric. There's no eccentric whatsoever. There's nothing going on here, man. And she's adapted, so it doesn't really matter. Man, this is just endurance athlete. Endurance. That's it. Which is based on glycogen loading, and they'll load in the muscles, and boom, because you're eating artificial carbs. Poor client Michelle. She is so enslaved herself, man. This is ridiculous. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next video. Another day of infertility and accelerated aging for poor client Michelle.